Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Crypto Entrepreneurs Podcast with your host, Charles. Enjoy.
Hello, and welcome to episode 10 of the Crypto Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm your host, the Crypto Guy, and today we're sitting down with Crypto Wendy O. So, Wendy's a bit of a superwoman, a crypto superwoman. She does a wide variety of things. She hosts crypto meetups. She has a YouTube channel. She teaches people TA. And on top of that, she does marketing and consulting for a number of different cryptocurrency projects. So, Wendy, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing really well. Thank you for sitting down and talking with us.
I appreciate you having me on. It's important. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I really want to, talk to a wide variety of people, and you are actually the first woman to come on my show, so I really appreciate that. So before we jump into, what you're doing, all of these things that you've got going on, can you just give us a little bit of background on yourself and how you got introduced to crypto?
Yes. So I actually first got introduced into crypto in about 2011, 2012. I had a family member living with me, and he asked if he can borrow mine or my husband's credit card to buy Bitcoin. And getting on our feet, we just were able to rent a house, and we were like, no, you can't borrow our credit card to buy Bitcoin. It's a scam. It's online. It's weird stuff happens online. So we're like, no. And then we kept hearing about it on like libertarian radio and all kinds of stuff. So it's just, and then I felt like stagnant in life for a long time at my job, and I just felt things weren't going anywhere. So I was like, I'm going to invest in Bitcoin. I remember I had really bad postpartum, and my daughter was like screaming. She was like a year and a half. And I just was like, I need to stop working. There has to be something else. I was always into being an entrepreneur, but I just wasn't sure like how I would fit in. And I didn't know how I'd fit into crypto. So I bought some Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin on Coinbase. And then that was the first time. That was how I actually got into crypto.
So you actually just quit your job before any kind of business venture, and you just bought crypto before any kind of business move. Is that correct?
Yeah, my goal was to go back to school and to finish my degree, because I was a bio major because I wanted to be a pharmacist. I worked in healthcare and pharmacy for a very long time. I worked for the largest HIV/AIDS company in the world. So I wanted to be a pharmacist. I really enjoy people. I love giving back. I love helping. And but the cost to go to pharmacy school is like $300,000. And I was like, no. So I changed from finance, and then I changed to marketing. And that was originally what my plan was to, just to go to school and see what happens. I wanted to own my own business. Was looking into buying a bar or like a donut shop or something like that. And I just didn't know, I had no idea that crypto would provide all these really amazing opportunities for me.
Okay, so it sounds like you've had this, entrepreneurial spirit for a long time now, and you talk about all these different things, owning a bar, opening a donut shop, and it was only kind of a matter of time before you figured out how to take your love for business and your entrepreneurial spirit and, combine that with crypto. So, you've kind of talked about how you got into crypto. Now, can you talk to us about what you're working on? I know you've got 50 different things that you've got going on right now. I know you've got your YouTube channel, you do a lot of TA, you've got your meetups, your marketing, you advertise. Can you kind of walk us through all of those just so everyone gets an idea of who you are?
Yes. Okay. So it's a mouthful. I do a lot in this space because the personality type I have, I don't like to say no. I like to always do my best, and I want to be able to, I had the same job for 7 years. It was the same title that I was given, but I kept doing more and more and more of my job. And I was like stagnant for a long time. So I was telling myself, doing a lot of positive affirmations, and I was like, I'm going to make something of myself. I'm going to do something. So that's why I do all of these things, is because I figure if I do one thing and it fails, I have like 20 other things I can fall back on. And if you don't try and you don't learn, you don't know where you're going to end up. So that's a little bit of background as to why I do so many things. So I originally wanted to be a trader, and I am a trader. And so I started with that, and I started posting my content. People liked it. And then from that, I was like, I want to help other people understand and to learn trading and TA and whatnot. I want to help educate, like even if it's just the basic stuff. I figured, why not be helpful? If I know what I'm doing and I have a little bit of knowledge, why not give back? Host crypto meetups and TA meetups. So I did that in the beginning of the summer. I started doing I would do a TA meetup, which is like an open forum. I would like take chart requests, talk about support and resistance. I made all these really cool documents to give to my guests. And then I would do a networking meetup. And the reason why I did that was because if you go on meetup.com, there's a lot of crypto meetups that charge. And I thought that was ridiculous. I wanted to be able to connect with people in my community and meet and talk to people. That's why I started doing those. So from there, I had a friend of mine that had a YouTube channel, and she's like, let's come on, you can do TA and we'll talk about coins. I'll talk about the fundamentals. I was like, awesome, let's do it. So people really liked it. It got like 10,000 views. And I was like, you know what? If I'm doing these TA meetups, I might as well start my own YouTube channel and talk about TA. And I actually also too, if you look at my early YouTube stuff, I would actually live stream a lot of my TA meetups. And, so people can go back and see those and whatnot. So then I had a YouTube channel. I started doing that. And then companies, because my following started growing on Twitter, companies started reaching out to me. They're like, can you promote for us? And I was like, and they're like, we'll pay you. And I was kind of taken back a little bit. I was like, what? Like, I can make money doing stuff like this on YouTube. Like, this is crazy. So I started doing that. And before I started doing that, I made it apparent to the community, to my followers, to my audience, that I'm going to be doing paid promotion for companies, because I feel that focus on transparency and mass adoption, because that was, that those things are important to me. So I did. And people wanted me to do project reviews, occasional tweets, just different stuff. So I was doing that. And then I was like, you know what, I want to kind of continue to do this, but I also want to do news and charts, do more content, because I can do more. I know how to do this. I can navigate myself around the space. A little bit. And I actually filmed a pilot for Crypto Cake TV I was a host of a news show talking crypto. So, and I interviewed a bunch of people. So that's another story, but I was like, I could totally do this. So then I started doing that. And then also too, when I started marketing for all these companies, I realized that there is a lot of ineffective marketing practices that are happening in the space. There is no transparency. People weren't disclosing that they were being paid. There's a lot of these companies don't really know how to reach their audience. And it's just, to me, it's just not done in a correct way. And so I opened an LLC. I was like, I'm going to open a company. I'm going to try and I'm going to create marketing packages, kind of help these companies. And then I work for two companies now exclusively. I work for Rapids, which is a P2P currency, and we're working on building all these really amazing partnerships in the space. No ICO. And then I also work for Monetary Unit, which we're an e-commerce coin essentially, and we work with Flubit, and which accepts crypto and fiat and USD. I'm doing marketing and community growth for them. So kind of just all this stuff just happened from just putting myself out there and whatnot. I know it's a mouthful.
Yeah, you are Superwoman. Honestly, you have so much going on, and there's so many things to cover. So I kind of just want to recap that for everybody who's listening, because they probably didn't catch it all the first time around. The first thing I want to say is that you started that with you can't say no, which is an amazing kind of idea and way to live when you're getting started in crypto, because there are so many different things you can do and so many different avenues to take. And if you just say yes to all of it, you'll be able to just do anything you want, and then you can pick and choose kind of which avenues you want to specialize in. You have done it all, and you continue to do it all, and I'm blown away by it. So just to start, you started out trading, and then you realized, well, you have a pretty good understanding of this. Let's try to teach some people, try to help some people, because, when I first started out, I knew nothing, and there was just so many different resources, and it was all very confusing. So I think, that was a great way for you to start, because you had this basic understanding that you could teach to people to get them started. And then as you grew and you learned more, you were able to teach as you progressed. And I feel like you're still doing that. And then you moved to the YouTube channel. I talked to BitBoy. I just released that episode. He's also big on YouTube. So we kind of discussed that. I don't want to go too deep into that one, and like how to grow a YouTube following. But then you started having companies approach you, and you realized that, I hate to use the word, everyone hates to use the word, but it's this like kind of influencer, where you can help promote companies and projects and bring light to what they're doing, and you have a very large audience. And then kind of naturally you progress to more of this, marketer and advisor for these projects, where you created your LLC, and now you're kind of helping them because there are these inefficiencies in marketing that we've seen. We see so many posts that just kind of go unnoticed, and you can kind of tell that they're paid promotions, and they don't really go anywhere. They don't bring any light to the project. So you've really had this amazing progression. Now, kind of moving on from that, do you think you could dive into the details of how you made that all work? And you're one of the most successful women that I've seen on Twitter. You've got so much going on, and I feel like a lot of people who are getting into this space kind of want to understand how to be like you, especially women, because it's such a male-dominated space. And I feel like women who are getting started really need this kind of role model and kind of want some help on how to make it and how to be successful in this space. So can you talk about that, and then maybe also talk about, some of the challenge that you've faced as a woman in this space?
Definitely. So as far as being successful, I am still nowhere near where I want to be. I really want to be more behind the scenes, and I want to be the go-to company or the go-to person that these companies come to, and they're like, how can we grow our project? How can we do things transparently? How can we be honest? Because a huge issue in the community is everything's a scam. Everything's a scam, and that's not fair to these companies. I support entrepreneurs, I support small businesses, and I feel like a lot of these projects and these companies, they are out here and they're trying to do right by their families. They're leaving their corporate jobs to be entrepreneurs. Most small businesses fail, and I want to be able to help them and guide them, be like, hey, let's do this, but you need to disclose this. So there's that aspect. But as far as being successful, there's a lot. Like I said, I'm nowhere where I want to, or I still want to grow. There's always room to grow. There's always room to learn, but it is challenging. Like, I'm blessed because I have a really amazing following on Twitter, and that's helped me get into places. The term influencer, I really don't care for that word, but at the end of the day, if companies are going to work with me and they're going to sponsor me and sponsor my meetups and pay for things for my guests and send me to conferences and to whatever, so I can grow myself in my business, I'll take it. Like, that networking is really important. And one of the ways I try to run my business is I'm trying to be as kind as I can to everybody and supportive as I can to everybody as far as that goes. And yes, being a woman definitely is challenging in the space because it is male dominated. And one tip of advice I can give is that Twitter is not the end all be all. There are so many opportunities and things out there that are outside of Twitter. Twitter is great to learn information. There's a lot of shady stuff that goes on that a lot of people don't talk about. And sometimes it can be accessible and it can be negative. And my advice to anybody who's trying to find what they want to do or figure out where they want to go, try things. Just try a little bit of everything and see what happens, and see what sticks and see what works for you. Because unless you try it, you're never going to know.
Definitely. Yeah. So a lot of the stuff you touched on, it can be applied to both men and women getting started in this space. I love what you said at first, which is continue to kind of push yourself, and you say you're nowhere near where you want to be. So just stay hungry, continue to grow, continue to push on, and always keep trying to take on new projects and improve what you're doing in your own business. You also really talked about, you kind of brought up that whole influencer thing, and I know it's a very touchy subject that a lot of people don't like to talk about. My personal opinion on it is that, you're putting out all of this amazing free content. No one's paying you for that. And so if you need to talk to projects to pay for meetups, to host those meetups, that kind of thing, I don't think anyone should have a problem with that, because if that wasn't happening, your content would go away. You would have to find something else to do. So
exactly. And that's the thing. And that's the thing. When I first started, I told people I'm looking for sponsors. I'm always going to be looking for sponsors, because if I can get paid to travel, or I can get paid to host a meetup, and then they can, like, if they pay me like a certain amount, or, pay for my travel, pay for my time, buy my guest drinks, or give me coins to airdrop, stuff like that, that benefits everybody. Because there's not a lot of people there are some people that are out there throwing meetups, but there's not a lot. Like, you see, they're very far and in between. And also too, I have a 2-year-old daughter and I'm married. Like, my husband's an entrepreneur. He owns his own business, and I have a 2-year-old. Like, I deserve to be compensated for it. Like, and I've, like, as far as the free content goes, I love providing content. I love doing TA. I love doing the videos. But, if I can get paid for it, and I'm not lying and I'm not being unethical, I don't see what the issue is.
100%. I am in complete agreement with that. And then the last thing you kind of touched on was, just figuring out what works for you. Play to your strengths, everybody. Don't pursue something with absolutely no knowledge, I would say. You've got a wide variety of things. You found what you loved and you found what you're really good at. Same goes for anyone else who's trying to get into this space. Explore and then really stick to what you're good at.
Yeah. And also too, like, people are really salty because of the market. And it's actually really sad because our community is so small. We should be out here supporting each other. Just because one person doesn't like what you do, don't stop doing it.
There we go. Yeah. I was going to say,
don't let people dictate to you your happiness. Like, if you're good at TA, do TA. If you want to do a podcast, do a podcast. If you want to do YouTube, do YouTube. If you want to go on Twitch, do Twitch. Do it or write articles, whatever it is, and then just figure out how to monetize it later. Because once you are continuing to put content out, people will take note of it. And there's different ways to monetize things, and there's ethical ways to monetize things as well.
100%. And I really like what you were saying there where, because I was going to say with you do a great job of just kind of pushing that negativity and that hate off to the side, and you continue to just press forward with all the positivity, and people have really rallied around that. You have this great following that really seems to care about you and will defend you, and I think that's because of that, kind of community sense and that positivity that you radiate. So again, everybody, Twitter can be a bit of a cesspool sometimes. There's a lot of negativity. A lot of people have lost a lot of money. Focus on the good. Don't focus on that bad, that negativity, that hate. It really does you no good. As you can see, Wendy's thriving. So moving on, you've talked about, what you've got going on. You've talked about how you've kind of created this empire that you have. Talk to us about what you're most excited for in 2019. One, with regards to the market, and then two, with regards to projects that you yourself are working on.
So as far as what me being excited for the market, I'm hoping the bear market is going to essentially end. I'm the way I charted it, like, Bitcoin has a 4-year market cycle, and I think a lot of it has to do with halving and all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to get into it too much because there's some people disagree, some people whatever, but I think that we're going to start seeing some positive price action after we find bottom, and I'm expecting that to happen at the end of 2020 or the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. And I think that once that starts happening, and once, like, a lot of these projects are out here continuing to build, like, getting funding and doing all that type of stuff is hard in a bear market. It is not ideal. So we're going to see a lot of quality projects come out of this. Of course, I'm never telling anybody to invest. I'm not going to talk about price or anything, but that's what I see happening. And as far as the projects that I'm working with, the reason why I've signed exclusively to work with them is because I believe in what they're doing for mass adoption. And I think that any project that one regular person that had no interest or didn't care about crypto involved in the space, knowing what Bitcoin is, because Bitcoin is the golden standard. Bitcoin is king or queen or whatever you want to call it. But if one project could get one person in and it can change their life, then I'm with it. I support it. But as far as things that I'm working with, I'm just going to continue to, I really want to grow my YouTube, and I want to focus on my marketing consultancy, and just see how, just see where I can fit in and how I can help companies be as great as they can be.
There we go. Yeah. So you've got your YouTube, Twitter. We're going to have links to all of those in the description. So for anyone who wants to find Wendy, just check out the description. We'll have all the links. She's got meetups also. So for any that are upcoming, we'll have links to those as well. And then everything is cryptowendio.com. I have a website now, which is exciting because I can kind of push people over to my website where I have my meetups. Some of the meetups that are there, I might not necessarily attend because I might not be able to, but there's different people that I do support and whatnot. And you guys can also see what other projects that I'm affiliated with, I'm working with on my partners page. I just spoke with a woman who does crypto taxes. She's out in LA, and I'm going to be putting her on my partners page. And of course, Crypto Space San Pedro's there. They're OTC desk. So I got all kinds of stuff going on. There we go. Check out the website. It's a great place to kind of bring all of your content together and have it in one spot. So I'm sure anyone who's listening is going to want to go check that out. And then you talked about, obviously, this business that you set up. Congratulations on that, by the way. I saw that post and was like, okay, here we go. We've got someone who's actually creating a business versus a lot of these other, I want to say, again, in air quotes, influencers who are kind of just, posting and tweeting and getting paid for it. You've actually decided to move forward and create a legitimate business, which is a step in the right direction, in my opinion. Last thing I wanted to talk about, I ask everyone who comes on the show this: if your YouTube fell off, it died, your Twitter, 0 followers, your business was done, you kind of started over fresh, what is the first thing that you would do to kind of get back to where you are now as this very successful woman with multiple avenues of 1, revenue, and 2, things that you're just doing?
It would really depend if it would depend what industry I wanted to pursue. Like all the skills that I have learned while being in crypto, I can take those to any industry and I can open my own business or I can go work for somebody. So it really would depend what circumstances that happened. But just the knowledge and the life experience, I've posted events, I've educated, I do media now, there's, and I do marketing, I do consulting. There's all these things that I learned, and I also felt more confident. I got a lot of confidence from being in crypto. Even though, you'll see salt thrown here and there, but at the end of the day, I feel like I kind of found my voice and kind of found my place in the world, which I felt I was lost in before.
Yeah, definitely. You're extremely confident. I kind of want to push that question again, maybe in a different way. For anyone who's very new to crypto, who's an entrepreneur at heart, wants to start some sort of business, what's, I guess, your first tip for them?
Figure out what you're good at. Life is all about is an exchange. No matter what people say, people will always want something from you. Figure out what value you can add or where you fit in, and just continue to provide value in that aspect and whatnot. So I would just, that's what I would recommend to people, is just find that value to add that you're capable of doing and do it.
Perfect. Great advice. I feel like some people, they don't really know what value they have and they try to start a business and it kind of just doesn't go anywhere. You really do need to figure out, 1, what you're passionate about, and then 2, where you can add some sort of value, because that's the way you monetize. That's the way you kind of start bringing in the money. So
exactly. Oh, one last thing is that networking is so important. I actually have extremely, extremely bad social anxiety to where I just don't want to be around people. I know it doesn't look that way, but I really had to fight and really come out of my shell to do all these meetups and to do all the media, especially in crypto, because we are essentially an emerging market. Don't be scared to ask questions and to talk to people and to come to meetups and to network and to do X, Y, and Z. Stay in contact with people, build an Excel spreadsheet and put all your contacts, and maybe quarterly send emails to people hey, how are you? How are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Stay in touch with people, because if you put yourself out there, people are going to want to help you. Anytime I get an email from somebody oh, I want to start meetups, what do I do? I give them the rundown. Or somebody's oh, I want to do a media kit, or how do you do this? How do you do that? I'll help them with it. I'm always willing to help members in the community, always.
Perfect. I'm so glad you mentioned that. I was actually going to try to get that out of you, as that networking, because you've got these meetups, and I want people to understand that the connections you've made at these meetups and that other people make at these meetups is vital. You had a tweet today mentioning, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but it showed up on my feed today, and it mentioned, face-to-face meetups and how important that is in this space. And I couldn't have said it better myself. Honestly, you need to get out there and you need to talk to these people. It's very hard to create a connection online, but when you see these people in person and you talk to them for 5, 10, 15 minutes, you really do make that connection that will last decades down the road in some cases. So I'm really glad that you touched on that.
Really quick, I heard a motivational speaker talk about, helping people find their way. One of the I don't remember who it is, and I really need to find out who it is because I tell this story a lot. But he said, if you want a secure job or you want to be, set yourself apart from people in your industry, find something that technology cannot duplicate. And he said the one thing that technology cannot duplicate is face-to-face interaction. We have great technology, we have blockchain, we have all these cell phones, all these great things. But at the end of the day, when you get to talk to somebody, shake somebody's hand, look them in the eye, that cannot be duplicated by any means. There's nothing that even comes close to it. If you can figure out how to master to talk to people or just smile or, anything like that, you're 10 steps ahead of the game.
There we go, guys. So thank you so much for coming on. You've dropped so many valuable insights for people. Anyone who's trying to get started, women who may be struggling in the space, you're like a beacon to them. So again, thank you so much.
Always, and I'm just grateful not only to have this time with you, but I'm just grateful if there's like somebody that I can help just by anything, like being or anything, I'm happy. I used to do that a lot in healthcare, and one of the things I was scared when because I had 200 clients that I serviced every single month that I knew their partners' names, their dogs' names, their kids' names, their HIV regimen, all kinds of stuff. And I was scared once I left that I wouldn't be able to have that connection or that, be close to some people like that. Like being able to help these people made my day. And now with crypto, I feel like when I have people that come to my meetups that were, kind of timid or didn't want to, get out from behind the computer, or when I have other women come up to me at like events and they're like, I really love your stuff, you're inspiring, like that makes me feel good. Like I want to be able to help people. I want positivity to reign. I know life is not perfect, things that have happened. I come from crazy past that a lot of people probably couldn't fathom some of the stuff I've seen, but I want people to know that, and there's always opportunities there. You just have to want it.
Awesome. Yeah. Anybody listening right now, if you're struggling with anything, it sounds like Wendy has open arms. Please feel free to reach out to her, myself. We can kind of try to help you through whatever you're going through. She's been through a lot, and I think she would be very helpful with anyone who's struggling with anything right now. All right, guys, if you want to meet Wendy and do some networking, she's got an event coming up on Thursday, the 28th of February. The event's in San Diego. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. There's going to be a lot of great people from the community there. I'll be there. So if you want to go and you want to meet some people, head over to Wendy's Twitter account. Her pinned post has the details. You can RSVP with the link she's got. And I can't wait to see some of you guys there. All right, guys, now the moment that everyone's kind of been waiting for, this monetary unit giveaway that we were doing. So originally it started with 100 monetary unit that I was going to give away during the podcast. And then Wendy saw it and she added 500. And the monetary unit team saw it and added another 500. And then the crypto empire saw it and doubled that. So like I said, we're giving away 2,200 monetary unit. And I plugged that tweet that I put out into a random generator, and it came up with our winner. So our winner for this giveaway is Akash R. Twitter handle Akash_8. So congratulations, Akash. Shoot me a DM and we'll get you that monetary unit. And then to everyone who didn't win this week, don't worry about it. We've got plenty of giveaways coming up. So if you subscribe to the podcast, we're going to be doing giveaways on a pretty much weekly basis. So stay posted and look out for that next giveaway that we've got going on. Again, congratulations to Akash_8. All right, guys, that wraps up another episode. And I just want to take a quick second to ask you a huge favor. If you found anything in the episode helpful, or it's been inspiring to you in any way, I just ask that you share it with your friends, family, anyone you know on social media, and hopefully we can help them out as well. Have a good one.